We were friends since childhood. Not just casual friends, real ones. Through years, distance, different life stages, the kind of person you assume will always be there. Then he got seriously ill. A rare disease, extremely rare, like 1 in a million. The treatment is harsh, with heavy side effects. Mood swings between aggression and apathy. He's now officially disabled. But he keeps working, pushing through it, even though it's clearly hard. We met recently. I thought we'd just talk like before. Instead, he said, "I think we should stop being friends." I didn't understand at first. Asked why. He explained calmly. Said he sees people differently now. He's in a vulnerable position. His wife takes care of him, goes to appointments, supports him. And he can't be around someone who acted differently in a similar situation. Because I cheated on my wife when she was sick. We divorced after that. And now he can't even imagine his wife going through something like that. Being around me makes him uneasy. He said he's rethought a lot. And people like me don't belong in his life anymore. I tried to explain. Said it's my personal life, not our friendship. He just nodded. That was it. It's been 6 months. No calls, no messages. He didn't even wish me a happy birthday. And it doesn't feel like a phase. It feels final.
My husband started a new job 6 months ago. New field, retraining, pressure. But he was actually excited. Came home energized, talked about work, seemed more alive. Even our relationship improved. Everything looked fine. But something felt off. That quiet, unexplained anxiety. So I did something I knew I'd regret. I checked his phone. Messages, nothing. Contacts, no one knew. Browser history, clean. I almost felt relieved. Then I opened his gallery. And that's where it got unsettling. Dozens of photos. All of the same woman. His coworker. Taken secretly. She's not posing, not even aware, just existing, working, eating, talking on the phone. And he's capturing it. Over and over, different days, different angles. I kept scrolling and felt this tight knot in my chest. She's young, probably under 30, attractive, natural. And this isn't flirting. It feels like watching, like a quiet, hidden obsession. The kind you see in movies, and it never ends well. What makes it worse, there's nothing else. No messages, no calls, no obvious cheating. Just these photos. And I don't know what's worse. An affair, where at least it's clear. Or this. What even is this? Will it pass? Or is this something I should already be worried about? And I don't even know who I can tell. Because, technically, nothing happened. But something inside me definitely shifted.
I hate my friend. And yeah, I know how that sounds. We've known each other for years, and somehow everything in her life just works out. Mine doesn't. I spent 2 years grinding just to get into university on a scholarship. Sleepless nights, constant pressure, no life outside studying. She? Her parents just paid for her education. I graduated with honors, built a career, long hours, stress, responsibility, everything, step by step. She became a nail technician. And, okay, fine. But then she married well. Her husband, former criminal, lots of money. He opened a chain of salons for her, bought her a Mercedes G-Class after she had his kid. And I sit here looking at all of it. Me, with my degree, my career, my exhausting schedule. And her, with a business, a luxury car, an easy life. And I keep asking myself, why? Why did I do everything right and still end up with less? Why couldn't I just be the pretty lucky one who got handed a good life? And the worst part is, I know it's not really about her. What bothers me is realizing that the rules I believed in don't work the way I thought they did.
I slept with my sister's boyfriend, and then he became her husband. I'm still ashamed to even think about this. Even after 10 years, my whole body tenses up when the memory hits me. Back then, I was an idiot. Truly. No judgment, no boundaries, just this ugly jealousy toward my own sister. She had just started dating a guy, and I didn't take it seriously at all. I told myself it was just another relationship that probably wouldn't last. I never imagined he would one day become her husband. One day we ran into each other by chance. It started as a normal conversation, nothing special. Then came the jokes, the looks, the flirting. I remember the exact moment something stupid and cruel clicked inside me. Instead of stopping, I kept going. We ended up at his place. I still can't fully explain why I did it. At the time, there wasn't a single mature thought in my head. I didn't think about my sister. I didn't think about consequences. I didn't think about how I would ever look anyone in the eye after that. I just spent the night with him. The next morning, we both acted like nothing had happened. No talk, no explanation, no attempt to define it. We just went our separate ways like it meant nothing. And then life moved on. They kept dating, it got more serious, then even more serious, and eventually he became her husband. That's when it really sank its claws into me. Every time I see them together, the same scene comes back like a punch to the chest. Family dinners, holidays, casual conversations, the way she smiles next to him, and immediately I'm back there, remembering that night, his apartment, the morning after. My own face, looking like someone I couldn't stand. He never acts like anything happened, neither do I. We both play our roles as if there was never anything between us. But there was. And the worst part is that my sister has no idea. I live with this constant fear that one day she'll find out. Not just what happened, but what kind of person I was capable of being. What I was willing to do to her. To us. Sometimes I think I should tell her and finally stop carrying this around alone. But then I imagine the look on her face, and I know I probably never will. I've lived with this shame for 10 years now, and it feels like it's never going away.
We've been married for less than a year. Before the wedding, we didn't live together. It was the usual dating routine. Going out, spending time together, everything felt normal. Honestly, I had zero doubts back then. She always showed up clean, well-groomed, and smelling nice. I never even considered that things at home could be completely different. Then we moved in together, and within a few days, I started noticing something was off. At first, I brushed it off, thought maybe it was just a one-time thing. Maybe she was tired or busy, but then it kept happening, again and again. At some point, it finally hit me. She barely showers. For her, taking a shower is something that happens maybe once a week, sometimes even less. And I'm not exaggerating. By the third day, there's a noticeable smell. Not just a bit off, but something strong enough that it's genuinely hard to be around her for long. I'm the complete opposite. I shower twice a day, change my underwear daily, and I'm very particular about cleanliness. For me, this is basic, non-negotiable. She, on the other hand, can wear the same underwear for days, sometimes weeks, and doesn't see anything wrong with it. The hardest part is how this affects our intimacy. I still feel attraction. I love her. But the moment I notice the smell, it's like a switch flips. Everything just disappears instantly. I've tried talking about it. At first, I hinted, then I became more direct. I told her that most people shower daily. I even suggested we shower together, jokingly, trying to keep it light and not make her feel attacked. None of it worked. Her response is always the same. People used to bathe in rivers once a month and lived just fine. Or, you're imagining things. There's no smell. And that's when I start questioning myself. Like, maybe I'm overreacting. But I know I'm not. You can't imagine something like that. So now I'm stuck. Getting divorced over something like this sounds ridiculous. I wouldn't have believed it myself before. But living like this doesn't feel possible either. Because it's not a small issue. It's every day. It's not wanting to hug your own wife, not wanting to get close, catching yourself avoiding her. And more often, I realize I have no idea what to do next.
Friends of mine had a sick daughter. High fever, middle of the night. That kind of situation where you're tired, stressed, and just trying anything to help. They decided to rub her with vodka, old school method. But here's the catch. The father doesn't drink at all. So the only alcohol in the house was a decorative bottle of Chinese liquor with a snake inside, the kind people keep on a shelf and never touch. No other options. They opened it. And the moment they started using it, the smell hit. Not just bad, like something dead. The mother panicked immediately. "Throw that thing out! What is that? It stinks like something died." And their daughter, burning with fever, on the verge of tears, looks at them and says, "Don't throw it away, Mom. Maybe I'll still survive." Silence. Then they just lost it. Laughing, mostly from stress and exhaustion. And after that, they had to spend a long time explaining to her that no one was going to throw her away, that she's loved. And that, yes, she's definitely going to be okay.
My mom died 10 years ago. I still remember that day too clearly. The smell of the hospital, the cold hallways, and the way I kept myself together only because I had one thing left to do: honor her last wish. She wanted to be cremated. For me, there was no debate. If that's what she wanted, then that's what I would do. But for my family, it turned into a war. They turned against me almost immediately. What started as arguments quickly became pressure, then open hostility. My grandmother was the loudest. She kept saying cremation was against God, that I was disrespecting my mother, that I was doing everything wrong. It was me against all of them. And I still did exactly what my mom asked. When I ordered her memorial stone, I chose one with space for another urn, mine, because I want the same thing. I want to be placed next to her one day. She was the closest person I had. After she died, it felt like I lost the only real anchor in my life. I'm not planning ahead for no reason. I have heart problems. Doctors say I might live for many years, or I might not wake up one day. And that uncertainty never really leaves me. It's always there, in the background. But the worst part came later. My relatives started mocking me. They said it didn't matter what I wanted, that they would bury me properly, not cremation, a traditional burial, wherever they decided. "You won't be able to do anything about it," they said, almost smiling. And that was the most terrifying part. Not death itself, but the idea that even after I'm gone, I would have no say in what happens to me. I tried to find a solution. I thought about asking my best friend to be my executor, to make sure my wishes were followed. She hesitated. Then she started making excuses. She didn't want conflict with my family. I understood. But in that moment, I realized I was completely on my own. So I handled it myself. I found a lawyer, someone calm, professional, and detached. Someone who would do exactly what I needed without getting involved emotionally. We drafted everything properly, legally solid, impossible to challenge. I appointed him as my executor, and I didn't tell anyone. Now I know everything will happen exactly the way I decided. I'll be cremated, I'll be placed next to my mom. No one will be able to change that. And sometimes I catch myself thinking something strange. I wish I could see their faces when they find out, when they realize they had no control at all, that I had already made all the decisions, and that my apartment and everything I own went to a complete stranger.